Hello guys, I hope you are all doing well, and today I'm going to share with you the top 5 books that I've read that have changed my life the most. As I said, this list is very important because these are the books that have changed my whole perspective on life in general, and now I do feel that I'm taking the right steps to become successful. Obviously, I still have good days and I still have not too good days, but we have to keep in our mind our goals and never deviate from them. So have the bigger picture, have our vision, and just keep persisting until we succeed. And that is something that these books helped me going through those tough times. So as I said in the previous video, one of the best investments is in yourself. And the best way you can do that is either taking a course or reading books. And touching on books, I would like to give you the top 5 books that have changed my life. So the first book is The Chimp Paradox. I am currently rereading it and taking notes at the end of every chapter. And this book is really good because it shows us that there are always 2 ways to react to things. So there is the rational way, which is portrayed by the human, and the irrational way that is portrayed by the chimp. So both of them are in our heads, and this book helps us being able to manage our reaction to everything. So for example, let's say someone says you look tired. You can take it in 2 ways. So the first one is reacting with the chimp, which is get offended because that person is basically saying that you are ugly and you look ugly and that they are actually attacking you. And you instantly get reactive and respond back, insulting them too. And I'm sure that probably has happened to you, like you get something wrong and then some minutes after you regret what you said previously. And then if you take a step back, you understand that in that situation you reacted with the chimp. The second way to actually understand what that person said is to understand that that person is caring about you. They're saying that you look tired and you probably need to rest a little bit. Maybe they've seen that you have been working really hard and they want to bring that into your attention. And if you think that that person is actually caring about your health, then you are actually reacting with a human because you are taking a step back, trying to understand what that person is saying, being rational, and then responding in the most corrective way. And it's great to read this book and understand that there are always 2 ways we can react to things. And since then, I've been able to manage situations a lot better. Like when I'm at work and my manager starts yelling at me because maybe I did something wrong, instead of taking it really personally, I just take a step back and I think, oh okay, I did that wrong, I'm not gonna do it again. And if I react and start responding, he's going to get offended and then it's going to be 2 chimps fighting each other, and that is not good. Although we cannot manage our emotions every time, we have to understand that if we have this knowledge, if we can manage our emotions 8 out of 10 times, our life is going to be so much better. This book is key if you want a life that is more emotionally stable, and because you don't only help yourself, but you also understand other people, and that is key to react the best way always. This is the book I always recommend people reading. If anyone comes and asks me what book should I read, I'm always going to say The Chimp Paradox first, and that is why it is the first on my list too. The link will be in the description. Last but not least, referring this to trading, this helps with trading because there are many times where I feel myself hesitating to take a trade and not trusting my edge. And that is when I have to take a step back and understand that my chimp has certain limiting beliefs about money, about many things that makes me get more reactive and not take the trade and then miss out. And understanding this will greatly improve your results too. Link in the description. So the second book is Deep Work. I've already talked about this book quite a lot in this channel when referring to my routines, when referring to what I do in a day. And this was recommended by Michael Bamber. I've already said that too. His link is also going to be in the description, as he is a really good trader and I really recommend you checking out his channel too. And this book is amazing. It teaches us the skill of deep work and why it is so important. Deep work is the type of work that we only achieve when we are completely disconnected from anything else besides one task. This allows you to do more work with more quality and more intensity, getting you more things done. And as you know, we are in a technology area and we always have something to do. If we are bored, we just go into Instagram. If we are bored, we just go to YouTube. And in the book actually says that the fact that we do that reduces our capability of working deeply and working intensely focused. Because if we get a little bit bored, we are just going to our phone quickly. Before I read this book, it used to happen when I was like backtesting, forecasting or something. It could be like 5 in the morning, but I would still check my phone. So since I read this book and Michael Bamber talked about it, I decided to always keep my phone away when I'm doing these tasks that are going to push me towards my biggest goal, and actually focus more on what I have to do. And this book, what it says is that we must embrace boredom, because if we don't, in the long run, we won't be able to work deeply. So one quote from this book of the chapter to embrace boredom is actually, people who multitask all the time can't filter out irrelevancy. They can't manage a working memory. They're chronically distracted. They initiate much larger parts of their brain that are irrelevant to the task at hand. They're pretty much mental wrecks. Because if we are focused on backtesting, it's probably only a certain part of our brain that is working. But if we then are multitasking and are checking our phone, checking Facebook, Instagram, that is going to activate another part of our brain. So instead of being only intensely using one part of our brain, we are mediocrely, I don't know if that's a word, using both. And that is why I really recommend this book. Link is going to also be in the description. Next book is going to be The 5 a.m. Club, and I really loved this book. It's such an easy read because it is basically a story that teaches us the routine of a highly successful person, and I love that. The book is filled with quotes and life lessons of the greatest people that have walked on earth. This book teaches you why it is important to wake up before sunrise, and they actually give you a routine to go through and why that routine is so important. So they give you psychological factors, health factors, and chemistry factors. It's basically a story of two people that are completely different from each other that meet a billionaire at a conference that looks like a homeless man. He invites them to their private island. They think that he's joking, but they still take the risk, and they actually go to the private island, and the homeless man actually teaches them all the things he has learned from all his previous mentors. And the main things are the rules of the 5 a.m. club, which is basically wake up, exercise, meditate, and then work on something that will get you one step closer to your future goals. And that is really important if you look at how we are wired to work. So I see so many people waking up at 7:30 to go to work at 8:30 and then work 9 to 5, and then when they are back home, they're not doing anything productive. And that is how, in my opinion, people do indeed get stuck in the rat race. This also gives great insights on being humble and to never basically let money and fame deviate you from the end goal of giving back. This also has a ton of graphs, tables, everything that can be related to health, habit forming, exercising, and so on. And that is why I really recommend this book. It gives you another perspective on what we should do in our morning and throughout the day, and there are a lot of life lessons in this book, so I really recommend it. As always, link in the description. So the next book that I'm going to say is going to be Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is actually the Portuguese version, so yeah. And why I put this book in my top 5 is because this was the book that I read probably with 15, or it doesn't matter. But this is what got me into the entrepreneurial road. This is what sparked my interest about passive income and financial freedom. And yeah, I know that a lot of people started investing in everything because of Robert Kiyosaki, and that is why I wanted to put this book right in this top 5. Before reading this book, I was actually already trying to always find ways to make more money or make money, but I never really knew the concept of passive income. And when I learned that we can earn money without doing anything, of course we still have to do some things, so there's a lot of hard work before you actually get passive income, I was skeptical, and I really wanted that to happen to my life. I want since then to be financially free, and that is what I am chasing for so long. This book explains pretty well what type of persons we have, like the workers, the investors, and so on, what passive income is, and some lessons on passive income. One thing that I think is lacking in this book is the fact that it doesn't talk about the bad of being an entrepreneur. All the, well, not the bad, like I would say the challenges about being an entrepreneur, because everything seems so easy on the internet, like people getting super rich overnight, and that is just not true. And the fact that I now look back and I know that this talks so much about the good of being an entrepreneur, I think it is lacking a lot of emphasizing all the stressful things you have to go through, all the challenges to actually become successful. And of course I'm going to keep this in my top 5 because of it introducing me to the entrepreneurial life and changing my life the most, because it was life-changing at 15 to read this book and understand all those ways of income. And to be honest, who wants to hear in the beginning of their journey how hard it is going to be? So I do understand why this only gives the good side of the entrepreneur. But yeah, looking back, it's still something that is lacking. I still recommend it if you haven't started your journey, so link in the description. Last but certainly not least, we have Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. This is a great book, and this was recommended to me by Mark, not directly to me, I wish. It is recommended to everyone that is at Falcon to read this book, and it revolves around all the ways we can stop procrastinating and actually the reasons why it happens. So it is 21 ways to avoid procrastination, and most of them are really effective, and that is why this book was so good. One of the main ones is Eat Your Biggest Frog First, and it was the one that had the biggest impact on me, because I wasn't aware that the thing that I was procrastinating the most on was actually the thing that is going to give me the biggest long-term success. So I would always leave backtesting for last in my day. I would not do forecasting, and I understood that those were the things that are going to bring me one step closer every day to being consistent. But my chimp didn't want me to do it, because it's like a challenge that your mind gives you, of
oh no, don't do it now because...
and then gives you a ton of excuses of why you should not do it. But if you're aware that you are procrastinating if you're doing it, you'll take matters into your own hands and you will change your life. So this book is really key if you procrastinate too much, and if you procrastinate in general. I think this is a really good book, and I know you procrastinate. Everyone procrastinates. So I really recommend it for more details and more lessons. Link in the description, don't forget. So leave a comment on what book you are reading right now, if you have already read any of these books, and which ones affected your life the most. I really want to hear your side of the story. So I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave me a like. Send me any requests of videos I should do. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Instagram, and you can also send me a message on Instagram. So I will see you in the next one, guys. Bagus!